Okay, here I am with our guy Newt, and yes, good boy. We're still within our first couple of days here with him, so we're still just shaping some things. Good boy, good boy. So his ability to follow and pay attention on the leash. Good boy, Newt. Good boy, good boy. So as he's paying attention, yes, I'm just going to be rewarding him. So we can do Newt. That name game there, well, we'll call his name and we'll backpedal, have him come to us, or even just our turns here. Good boy, good boy. And as we're getting, yes, good boy. As we're getting that, we can start working on his sit here, okay? So we've already been doing it, but we're gonna go ahead and lure him, yes. So we're gonna get our food, we're gonna keep it there on the nose, we're gonna go ahead and lure him up, and you'll notice I'm just applying ever so slight pressure on the leash in an upward motion at the same time that I'm luring him. Okay, and as he sits, I'm gonna go ahead and give him the food and release the leash. Yes, good boy, good boy. So he's starting to understand how to be guided on the leash there, right? So we're building some value to the leash by, yes, good boy, teaching him that physical responsive sitting, okay? So again, I'm not really saying any words right now. I'm just letting the food and the luring do a majority of the work. Good boy. So he can build, good boy, his understanding there of following. Good. So we're always taking, not always, but at least in this situation here, okay? We're taking two approaches here with the luring of the food and applying a little bit of leash pressure. Good boy. Good. So lure, leash, release. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. So as we come to our stop here, you're going to shorten your leash up just a little bit so you can stop him, okay? Because if not, he's obviously going to pull out and go all the way to the end of the leash. So here, shorten up and lure. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. So again, in the beginning here, I'm not saying any words. Come on. I'm not saying any words. I'm not saying sit. Just building the motion, right? Good boy. Come on. So dogs don't care about words. They don't know what words mean. They only understand action. And when we teach action, okay, then we can pair any word we want. Yes, good boy. That's a good boy. Good boy, okay. So we got a few reps of that. You can see, even there, good. He shifted. I was able to apply just a little bit of leash pressure, and he sat back down. So that is a way to test if he understands the leash. So if I pull up, good boy, he sits. That's good. So he's understanding the leash as we've put in probably 30 or 40, maybe 50 reps total of this in the last couple of days, okay? So leash, good. So little by little, what we might end up doing is removing the food from his nose in the luring position. And as you saw there, maybe starting to hold it a little further away. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. I'm gonna hold the food here and sort of give that, good, that same luring motion that I would have done on his nose, but I'm gonna do it, you know, a foot away here, right? So really, this is developing that hand signal. Okay, so when we're luring and the food is on his nose, we're pulling in an upward motion, right? And he sits. Well, that's the same motion I'm doing here, and essentially that's gonna turn into our hand signal, right? Like this. Okay, so if you pair that, good boy, with your leash, good. Now we can start to sort of fade that food out from the lure and the bribery there to him doing it on his own, a little bit of guided assistance there with the leash, and then start rewarding him, right? Okay, so in the beginning, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of bribery, right? So luring and bribery here versus asking him to do it, yes, and then the food comes to him. Instead of the food being present in the beginning, So let's see here. Sit. Good. So, I mean, I just threw in that word there, but really that was just to show you that I didn't have the food in the hand. I can still get him to sit and then reward. So the difference between bribe and reward. Reward comes after. Okay, good boy. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Like that. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. So, look, once he's doing that, we really don't need to be rewarding at all. Luring at all. We really don't need to be holding the food on his nose anymore because he already showed us that he can do it, right? Good boy. Okay. Good. Okay, so the last little thing I want to test here and work on, good boy, is sort of that impulse control with, he's moving in front of me. That's okay. Let me just kind of try to keep him by my side here. But last thing I want to test is some of this impulse control with the food, which, yeah, look, you can even see there as I'm kind of pulling it or presenting it here, he's starting to move forward, right? So we're going to throw that there. Good. So I'm holding the leash with 2 fingers. And as he kind of pulled forward there, just give him a little reminder there on the leash not to try to get that food. And if he doesn't get the food, good boy, I'm going to reward him, right? So we got to start working on, yes, good boy, his impulse control, but by giving him a decision to make. Okay, so we're giving him a decision to make. Yes, good boy. So again, this is pure reward here because I'm not holding the food that I'm rewarding him with in front of his face. Yes, good boy. You can see I'll throw that one and then my hand goes behind my back here. Okay, so we're just, it's a pure decision here that if he pulls out, we'll use our leash, which we've been building the understanding of the leash. But if he doesn't pull out, yes, good boy. And even here gives us that attention and focus. He's going to get rewarded, right? Oh, you got to chew, boy. Okay, so this is very important in teaching your dog how to stay by your side. Okay, but more importantly, it's the, okay, look, so a little bit more challenge here. A little bit more challenge. So the key here is you want to make sure, yes, that he actually stops trying to pull towards the food. Okay, so don't reward for him kind of just breaking, okay? I paused there and I actually challenged him again, and I wanted to see if he was going back towards the food or not, right? Yes, that's a good boy, right? So again, there's a lot of things that are happening here. Every time we're, our understanding of mine, Cynthia's understanding of dogs is, there's surface level understanding, and then you can start going down the layers, okay? So sure, here we're saying, don't get the food. That's surface level. But what are the layers here? Impulse control, patience, self-control, decision-making, limitations. Okay, if you tell your dog not to pick up something off of the street when you're walking, you don't want them to continue to try. So that's a limit, right? So this is limitations here in terms of, hey, we've said don't try to pick that one up. But if you don't, good boy, we're going to reward you. So in reality, it's very beneficial for him to not try to get those ones. He's going to say, wow, this is super easy. If I don't get those treats, I'm just going to get rewarded for just sitting here. It's super easy for him, right? And very beneficial for him. So always trying to understand the actual skills that you're developing in the dog. And so again, for me, the skills are going to be patience, self-control, impulse control, understanding of limitations, the ability to pay attention, focus, the ability to take direction, right? That's what's really happening here. And those are really the skills that you have to put emphasis on if you're wanting your dog to listen and be able to do these things in, more distracting environments, okay? Or, again, if you want to take your dog out somewhere or you want them to be listening when you have guests come over, it's, did we develop these skills, Okay, because again, majority of the time, I have a conversation with someone new and they're going to tell me, oh yeah, he can sit. Oh yeah, he's good. He can lay down. Or, oh yeah, he can stay. But he doesn't have the skills developed. It's been shaped in that he has an understanding, just like this. It's been shaped in that, sure, he can sit, but is he impulsive? Right? Does he pay attention? Does he understand limitations? Okay, so we're always trying to go 3, 4, 5 layers deep. Okay, so that was pretty good here. We're going to keep building on this. I'm also, you can see here, he's, the nose starts to hit the ground, right? And for, the Spaniels, they're highly intelligent, but their senses are their senses can be at another level versus some other dogs, okay? So, once that nose takes over, it's going to be very hard to get them back. So we're going to be very, very picky with like, hey, don't be smelling the ground, right? Because if he smells here, he's going to definitely try to pull out to the food, okay? So to me, smelling the ground in front of him is sort of one and the same as him trying to pull out to the treats, okay? Newt, good boy, good boy. He's very smart. He picks things up very, very quickly. Okay, so this is great progress already. We're going to keep building on this. We're going to start working on his down. Okay, so I'm going to morph this into an expectation anytime he's on the leash. You can see even here, right? There's a little bit of leash control there. We're going to morph this into any time. So sure, right now it's an exercise, but then we're going to turn this into our manners on leash. So anytime he's on leash, we're going to be expecting this. So even here, pulling out that way, right? I'm teaching him not to pull out by using the food. So if he's pulling out to my left here, even though there's no food, I'm still going to be expecting, don't pull out. Okay? So that was pretty good. Okay, boy. Good boy.